And good afternoon. Welcome to the booth with Daren and Todd on KDX AM 1590. Thank you for making us part of your day. We're very excited to have the folks from St. Teresa's Catholic School there in Glenville join us today, talking about the annual St. Teresa's Glenville School Auction. I'm joined by Kim Lynn, the principal, and Father Victor Anokute.
That's close enough, yeah.
And may I call you Kim?
That is fine.
And may I call you Father Victor?
Yes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the booth.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Kim, if I could, tell me the listeners a little bit about Kim Lynn.
All right. So I'm a Glenville native. I attended St. Teresa's School from preschool through 8th grade, went on to Campbell High School, got my education degree from Arkansas State University, wanted to come back and teach in Catholic education, and thankfully St. Teresa had an opening for me to start my journey there.
Absolutely. And Father Victor, we're very lucky to have you here. Tell the listeners a little bit about Father Victor.
Father Victor, originally born in Nigeria, the first boy of about 8 kids. Then I joined a religious congregation, the Society of Our Mother of Peace. After about 2 years of my college, I was required really to come to continue my training here in the States. Then I came to the States 2010, and after about 5 years of studies, was ordained a priest in 2015. And I came to St. Teresa's 2021, right after COVID, and I've been there. So this into my 5th year now.
Absolutely. Give her a welcome to the booth with Daren and Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, and Father Victor. A little bit about the upcoming Glenville, I always call it the Glenville auction, dinner auction, but it actually benefits St. Teresa's. Kim, what night is it this year? And I know it's always the same night every year or the same date every year, and I should rephrase that. It's the same day of the month every year. And so what day is that?
It's always the last Saturday of October. This year it happens to be on October 25th. It's a wonderful time. Doors will open at 5 p.m. Tickets in advance are $50. And then if you would like to buy a ticket, if they're available, it'll be $60 at the door.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren and Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, talking about the annual dinner auction. This year it's going to be October 25th. And for those who don't know, and I've been there numerous times, it's at one of my favorite events of the year. It's at the Knights of Columbus Lodge there in Glenville. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Outstanding location, plenty of parking. And you mentioned a little bit about if tickets are available, there's not going to be tickets available at the door.
Like most of the time we sell out. We only have 250 tickets available, and you need to get it before the event. Absolutely.
It's going to be October 25th. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Tickets are $50 per person. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren and Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of the St. Teresa School there in Glenville, talking about the annual dinner auction. We're also joined by Father Victor. He made fun of me because he's like, Daren, I like you a lot, but there's no way you're going to get that name correct. And I said, I'm going to try. Father. And I did it, and he's decided Father Victor is what we're going to stick with. Father Victor, I know that you're the priest there at the parish in Glenville. Do you have other parishes that you also pastor over or are part of?
Yes. So I do, along with St. Teresa's, St. Anne's in not in Glenville, but in Malden. So they are the 2 parishes that are.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, there's both strong Catholic community up in, we call it Northern Dunklin County, but it's a very strong Catholic community up there. I think there's also going to be some individuals coming from Stoddard County and probably Butler County that comes a lot to the dinner auction. And Kim, you indicated that you're originally from the Glenville area. Explain to the listeners who've never been, tell me what to expect for the first time if you're lucky enough to get, first of all, seats for one of the 250, and you're at the Knights of Columbus. Explain to the listeners what kind of night they're in a treat for.
It is a fun night. It's one of my favorite nights of the entire school year. You're going to get an excellent meal of prime rib, baked potatoes, salad, homemade dessert. We have an auctioneer who volunteers his time to come in. Our MC of the night is Joey Kerpering, and he always makes sure we have a good time.
And I'm going to stop you right there. And again, we're going to welcome Luke with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590. If you've not seen Joey on a microphone, you've got to come see Joey on the microphone. He's absolutely amazing. He's going to keep it lively and entertaining for everybody involved. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Sometimes it's a little loud in there, but he's going to get everybody's attention, and we're going to make sure we know what's going on, correct?
That is correct.
And I cut you off. We have 250 people, the prime rib. Tell the people a little bit of now. You say, well, it's prime rib. This is like 2 pounds of prime rib.
It's nothing you can get in a restaurant.
Absolutely not.
I don't know, Father. It's like
It is quite good size, okay? Now, not very few people even were able to finish it at a sitting. No, most people will like cut it in half and take the rest
we have
home.
to-go plates.
Yeah, it is. Now, the first time I was there, I'll say 4 years ago, and I was served with this huge amount of meat. I was like, whoa, it was really something. And very tasty too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people, again, we're welcome to Luke with Daren on KDX AM 1590. They say, Daren, are you going to have your steak cooked? I said, I just want you to warm it up a little bit on both sides, and I want you to serve it to me. And that's exactly, it'll be available exactly how you want it, and you will not be complaining one bit. So, again, the annual dinner auction is October 25th. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Tickets are $50 per person. You'll get a prime rib dinner, outstanding baked potato, salad, and the event's unbelievably amazing because not only do a lot of the parents volunteer, also the kids work. Is that correct? Kind of explain what's going on for people who haven't been there.
Okay, so the dinner auction is our largest fundraiser. I really think the dinner auction just says who Glenville people are. We got our kids that come up, they serve during the meal, and they'll wait tables, and then they get to go home after their job's done. But you're going to see people really rally together for a good cause, and that community is just for those kids.
Absolutely. And again, St. Teresas is a school that's located in Glenville. It's a Catholic school. It's a private school. If you've not been there, obviously you need to give Miss Lynn a call. She would love to give you a tour. If you're interested, explain to the listeners a little bit about St. Teresa's. It's kindergarten through 8th grade. Is that correct?
We do have a preschool.
Okay.
Yeah, so preschool through 8th grade. We're open to all faiths. We do teach in the Catholic tradition. We have so many good things that go on in that building. We have combined classrooms, which 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, and 7th and 8th grade, they are in their rooms together, and they get to learn together. They mentor each other. We have a huge focus on community service because that's how we serve the Lord. We have Big Brother, Big Sister program where our big kids are partnered with our little kids, and they sit with them through prayer, church services, and just really are their role model for that school year. And
again, we're on Welcome to Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal, St. Teresa's Catholic school there in Glenville. Also talking to Father Victor. Father Victor, you indicated you're from Nigeria originally. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you came to the United States about 2015 or so. Is that right?
2010, but was it then 2015?
Tell me a little bit about what led you to the path of where you're at today. Kind of give the listeners a little bit about the inside to Father Victor.
Okay. I think it's all God, really. God led me to where I am at this point. My vocation, if I look back, I can only say it is God who called and I who said yes. And I'll say growing up as a young man, my interest was, I'm going to go begin a family, go get a degree, and live a good life. At some point in my life after high school, God placed in my heart the desire to serve Him. Yeah, we can serve Him as with family, but especially to serve Him as a priest, and which I, had to struggle with Him a little. But at some point, I said, God, I give up. I surrender to Your holy will. And since then, it's been really wonderful. Began my formation with a more solitary and eremitical word of life, like the monasteries would do. But after about 2 years, then I moved into a more active priestly life, which is like doing parish work. And it's been really amazing, really. It's been amazing. And working with the kids at school has really been refreshing. Kind of see how working with them, seeing them grow, kind of adds a little vitality, make the person feel a little younger. Even like playing with them, the kids are like, "Father, I want you to do this." I'm like, "No, I am way older than you guys. I cannot do that."
Well, and again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd, and KDX AM 1590. If I was going to play a game or a kickball or something, I'd always want the father on my side. I think that would be the thing to do. And Kim, I'm going to go back to you a little bit here. And we talked about the dinner auction, and you indicate that it will be at the Knights of Columbus Hall. It'll be October 25th. The doors open at 5 o'clock. Tickets are $50 per person. If you have not gotten them, how can we go about getting those tickets?
Okay, that's pretty easy. You just need to call St. Teresa's School. It's 573-328-4197. Michaela will answer the phone, or Cletus, and just tell them that you need to buy some auction tickets, and we can help you along.
And again, if you've not been to this is one of the most amazing events I've been to. I know there's 250 people, but it actually feels, once you get that room full, there's about 1,000 people in there, because it is some amazing personalities. You're going to have Ray and Carrie Davis. You're going to have the Baders. There's going to be some Sieberts. There's going to be some Weidenbenders. There's going to be a wide array of some outstanding individuals there. And you indicate that the kids work during the auction. During the dinner. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
And that's just kind of get them into the work ethic. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
And also one thing that I think is very neat is every year there's a theme for the auction. What's the theme this year?
This year's theme's Havana Nights, so lots of palm leaves, bright colors, and you're welcome to dress up if you want. There's a costume contest, and they will win, a drink at the bar.
Absolutely. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd, and KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of the St. Teresa's School there in Glenville. Also talking to Father Victor, who's the leader of the parish there, and not only in Glenville, but also in Malden at St. Anne's. The annual dinner auction will take place October 25th, 5 o'clock, doors open at the Knights of Columbus in Glenville. They're $50 per ticket. The prime rib is amazing. And one thing we were talking about, the prime rib, that's all cooked by just volunteers. Is that correct?
We got a team of dads. Yeah.
And do we happen to want to give a shout out? Do we know who's cooking this year, or is it still undercover? It's always a top secret because we don't want anybody to get the information out too quickly, correct?
I usually say it's Zane Clark and his team of dads. Those are the ones, but there's so many people that show up and just want to help out, and they get it done. So I think they cook. I'm not even saying number of pounds, but it's a lot. It's a lot of meat that they cook, and they do it all day long. And then we have another team of dads who's in charge of cooking the baked potatoes. So.
And it's and again, I know this is Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590, and I know you think that I'm just saying this because you're here. It's really an amazing event. Glenville population is what? How many people do you think live in Glenville? 40?
No, we're more than that.
we are a little more than that.
Yeah. Asking about that, when I was sent to Glenville, I was like, okay, I have never heard about Glenville till...
Like most people.
Yeah, till I was assigned there.
Right.
So when I got the letter from the bishop, you're going to Glenville, I looked it up. So that was in 2021, about, let's say, around May or so, the internet says about 100 people in the town in Glenville. I was like, whoa, I hope I will find anybody there, when I get there.
Well, okay, so I'm Googling this like everybody does, and we're going to look and see what the Wikipedia says the population is. Mm-hmm. And, of course, it's not going to say it as I'm looking for it here on the air.
300 now.
But you think it's how many?
I think it's about 300 now or so.
You think it's 70?
Huh? I think it reads about 300 or a little less than that at present. Anyway, I think that's what the internet says. Okay. But as of then, it said about 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, if you haven't been to Glenville, it's real easy to find.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590, have a very good conversation with Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, Glenville Catholic School. there in Glenville, Missouri, which we're debating on the population. I said 40, which I'm clearly not right.
I think it was a little more than that.
Kim is going to go with how many are you going to go with, Kim?
I was going to say like 150.
150. Father Victor,
sure?
Father Victor, you're supposed to have all the answers
I'm
now.
looking it up.
No, you're not allowed to use the phone, Father Victor.
So it says in 2015, it was about 100 people in the town.
Well, I'm going to believe what Father Victor goes with. So anywhere between my guess of 40 and Father Victor's of 100 and 100. And then
I think she said 150.
And then
but I would say about 200.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when we come to the auction, I want y'all to ask how many people are in Glenville. So remember that again. And we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's Catholic School, and also Father Victor, who is in charge of the parish there at St. Teresa's and also at St. Anne's in Malden. The annual dinner auction will be October 25th. The doors open at 5 o'clock. If you have not got tickets, call St. Teresa's now. They will not last much longer, I promise you, folks. And it's worth every penny. The prime rib is unbelievable. The baked potato, there's also salad. There's also desserts. There's actually also a full bar. If you want to go and have a drink, you don't have to. You're certainly entitled to. And we've talked a lot about the dinner. After the one thing I like to talk about too is my favorite thing. There's so many great things I love about this. My favorite thing is before we eat, we decide who gets to eat first. Correct?
Yes. And I was going to say there's a pretty good table of Kennett folks too.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we decide who gets to eat first at the Glenville auction every year. Who would like to do that?
Well, a bucket is passed down your table. So we have 13 tables, and each table gets a bucket, and you put in however much money you want to donate. So your table gets to eat first. So those tables could go for $1,800, or up. So,
and again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, talking about the annual dinner auction, October 25th. Doors open at 5 o'clock at the Knights of Columbus Hall. We're also talking to Father Victor. Father Victor has assured us there's only about 100 people in Glenville, and we're going to keep Father Victor to that. I think it's 50. Father Victor's going with 100. And then Kim Lynn's going with 150. So we're going to find out, and then I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, we can announce
absolutely
at the dinner auction.
Absolutely announce, and everybody's going to be, what are you talking about? And I said, but it's a joke. It's great. So one thing when you go in, I think is also amazing is you get a auction card. So in the event that I want to give $200, $300 for the table to eat, I can write down my auction number, put it in, and then it'll be tallied up. And at the end of the night, after the auction, I can then pay as we go. Correct?
That is correct.
Now, I love the first thing about the dinner auction, but then we eat amazing meal. Joey will be talking. There'll be also other things going on. There'll be ability to do 50-50s. There'll be
lots of raffles.
What kind of explain some of the other stuff that's going on? I know there's a lot. So there's 50-50 in regards to the cards. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have some
door prizes.
Prizes. We have the pick of the litter where you could buy a token. We only sell, I think, 100 of those. And if your number gets drawn, then you get to pick whatever you want off the loud auctions.
And one thing that
selling auctions too.
Yes. And there's going to be a live auction in which who's the auctioneer this year?
We are talking with Travis Birdsong, and if he can't make it, then he's going to send a buddy. So
there's an actual live auction in which we'll have an opportunity, and Travis does a great job. Again, we're talking on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, and Father Victor from St. Teresa's Parish and St. Anne's there in Malden, talking about the October 25th dinner auction, Havana Nights. Doors open at 5 o'clock at the Knights of Columbus Hall. Get your tickets now. Do not wait. As soon as you hear this, if you call, you got to get your tickets. They'll be going like hotcakes. When you go in, you'll check in. It's usually a very nice lady. Is Miss Weidenbender still going to be working the front desk?
Karen Weidenbender, and then also her daughter, Alexis Weidenbender, both teachers. But,
And when you get your ticket, they'll put your name in and you'll get a little card. And it'll have a number on it. And on that number, you can go around and walk around on the silent auction tables and you can write down and you can bid. And when you buy things, when they close the tables, they'll write your number on it. And at the end of the night, you pay. And you can also then do a live auction. There's going to be anything from a ton of urea auctioned off to pedal cars, to all kinds of stuff. And one thing I didn't know, Kim, is there a website or some way to know what's going to be at the auction, or do we have to wait? Is it kind of like Christmas morning at my house? You have to wait and see what good gifts are going to be there once you go.
I was going to say, most of the time we wait until the night of. Now, some people come up and try to get an auction booklet a little sooner so they can pick through and star things that they, want to bid on.
Well, I mean, obviously everybody wants to get the jump. And one thing, and again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, and Father Victor. One thing that I think is kind of unique too, the place settings on each table also has some special, unique touches. Is that correct?
That's right. You're going to get to see the faces and the artwork of all of our students.
And, that's one thing I usually, and again, it's much like when you go to mass or you go to church, every year a lot of people sit in the same spots.
Yeah.
So you'll be sitting there and somebody will be like, excuse me, and you're like, and the first time I went, I was like, what are you? And they're looking around, and I'm like,
Try to find their kid.
they're trying to find their kid. So just be aware that that's going to happen as well, because it's just how it is, and it's one of the most amazing things ever. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Kim, tell me a little bit about how long have you been at St. Teresa's?
This is my 13th year. I was the teacher for first and second grade for probably, 7 years. And then the last 7 years I've been principal. And then I went to my sole position as principal. This is my third year. So for a little bit I was teaching first and second and doing my principalship. So
let me ask you this. Your entire time while you've been teaching has been at St. Teresa's, is that correct?
I did 1 year at Sacred Heart in Poplar Bluff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you indicate there's some unique things about St. Teresa's a little different than the public school system. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. You indicated that you have 2 classes together. Is that correct? Yeah. Kind of explain to the listeners, and I know that they're going to be like, well, this is just first and second graders together. Explain the reasoning and why we kind of do that there at St. Teresa's.
So a lot of other Catholic schools don't have combined classrooms, and some people look at that and kind of freak out, but I see it as a huge pro just because the kids have the opportunity to learn. You got your younger learners who, need some extra help while those older students step in. You got kids that are, mastering certain topics that come very easily to them that can help, or maybe this younger student who is working at a higher grade level. So I just think that there's so many benefits that we learn from one another. And in the real world, you're never going to be just isolated with your own age group. So.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Father Victor and Kim Lynn. Kim is the principal of St. Teresa's there in Glenville, and Father Victor. Father Victor, no kute?
Good.
I'm working on it, Father. I'm working on it, Father. Please, I'm really trying. I shocked him. He was like, "Whoa!"
I am really impressed.
So you got it faster than I did.
So, and again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Kim, one thing talking about the first and second and the third and fourth. I went to a small school. I went to Holcomb.
Okay.
So I graduated with 25 people. And when I was in high school, it was common for me to have classes with a freshman, sophomore, junior, or, things of that nature. And I know that you don't have a high school, but what I'm trying to get across is my son goes to Kennett, in which there's 100 and something people in the classes. He knows a lot of people, but mostly he just knows his class because there's so many people there. Is one of the advantages of St. Teresa's is the smaller class size and settings?
I think so. And I think that allows us to create more of a family atmosphere. And a lot of our, non-Catholics who come in, they'll even identify that as this, we're part of a family.
And again, you kind of look at it like, I don't know the exact number of students that go to St. Teresa's, but let's say you have what? How many first and second graders would you say you have?
We have 14 this
14,
year. Yeah.
a perfect number.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was in school, some things I caught on really quickly, some things I didn't, but when my teacher had 25 or 26 kids in a classroom, it was kind of hard for her to say, hey, I'm going to spend, 45 minutes with one person. But with 14 students, it sounds like the smaller class sizes allow for more one-on-one activity and conversation with not only the teacher, but I'm assuming there's also some aides there, is correct?
Well, we only have an aide in preschool, but when we talk about combined classrooms, the students are taught grade level in reading and math, and then everything else like English and social studies, religion. We alternate the grades. So the time that they graduate out, they have been, K through 8th, but
And I think too, with teachers now, because sometimes I do confirmation classes,
Sure.
or even sub for her. She does the religion classes. Sometimes I take her classes too. It gives opportunity, smaller class, for the teacher to, give that one-on-one attention to
Yes.
the students. At least you better know your students when there are just 14 of them than when you have a class full of about 30 kids in it.
Absolutely.
Some people can easily fall through the crack without really, getting, what is being taught.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal for St. Teresa's. We're also talking to Father Victor, who's not only in charge of the parish there at St. Teresa's, but also St. Anne's in Malden, talking about the annual dinner auction that's going to take place October 25th. Doors open at 5 o'clock at the Knights of Columbus Hall there in Glenville. It benefits the St. Teresa School. And one thing I want everybody to know is it's St. Teresa's, Teresa. There's no H in there.
That is correct.
I've been instructed that numerous times. Cleet Weidenbender has whacked my fingers on my knuckles numerous times when I write checks, and he's like, Darren, there's no H in there. So in the event that I'm interested in saying, you know what, I think my child needs to change, I'm not really happy where we're at, can we contact you and just kind of come up and take a tour of the school? And how would we do that?
Just call the front office, ask to come over and do a tour. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Right now, there's a wonderful opportunity because the Missouri Scholars Program is offering pretty much a full scholarship for students who are moving from the public school into the Catholic school system. Just give me a call.
And when you say the Missouri Scholars Program is offering a full scholarship, for instance, there's a tuition fee to go to St. Teresa. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And is it my understanding the Missouri Scholars Program will basically pay, if not all of it, a majority of it?
They will take care of all of it. Our cost of education is equivalent to the scholarship that they give out. So it will take care of the full tuition rate.
Absolutely. And again, they can contact Kim Lynn at St. Teresa's, and that phone number is
573-328-4197.
And I know I'm going to sound like an old man when I say this. If we wanted to get on the internet and look you up, is there some way to send you an email too or something of that nature?
So just Kimberly M. Lynn, Lynn, at gmail.com. If you want to look us up on Facebook at St. Teresa Catholic School, and you can send us a message through there, and we can respond that way too.
Absolutely. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Father Victor, when you came to the United States, let's say 10 or so years ago, maybe 15, what were your initial thoughts when you were coming from Nigeria and you were coming over here? I mean, explain to me. First of all, I got nervous whenever I thought I was making a big step moving from Holcomb and going to school at Cape Girardeau, a whole hour and 15 minutes away. Yeah. Kind of explain to me how a young Father Victor, what was going through your mind at that time?
I think one of the things that helped was I was with a religious congregation that has a foundation in Nigeria. So the congregation was founded here in High Ridge, Missouri, within our diocese of Spring. Though it is in Archdiocese of St. Louis, but it is of Springfield, Cape Girardeau diocese. So that kind of helped because I was already a part of a congregation that is not a completely change of way of life when I came here. But also granted that, coming to the U.S., there is always that expectation to, you're coming into a more affluent and, prosperous country. And there's always that excitement that comes, with it. And given to that, I spent about 4 years in a kind of monastic way of life. I wasn't too much expecting also like being in the middle of St. Louis. Okay. So I was just expecting to be in a country, which is where the congregation was located. So we are the congregation has about 100-acre property in which every member has a little hermitage, in which they stayed. I would say at first it wasn't like I wanted to leave, because from a family of 8 kids, we are very, very knitted together. And the first time I was asked to come to the U.S., I was like, I will think about it. Never got back to my superior, Then the second time was like, you are going. We're not asking you anymore. You're going. Then I came over, and it was good, really, Bob.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590. Talking to Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's Catholic School there in Glenville, and Father Victor, who's in charge of the St. Anne's and the St. Teresa's Parish there in Glenville and Malden. Talking about the annual dinner auction that's going to take place October 25th. Doors open at 5 o'clock. If you've not got tickets, you need to call, and I'm going to ask you one more time, Kim. The phone number is
573-328-4197.
And there will be a very nice person to answer. If it's Cleet Weidenbender, it will not be a very nice. I'm just kidding. Cleet's an outstanding guy. For those of you who don't know Cleet's a very staunch supporter now working at St. Teresa's. Okay? Yeah. I've known Cleet a long time. I really appreciate his friendship. He got me going to the dinner auction. Oh, my goodness. Probably 20 years ago.
I was going to say, Cleet used to take a whole bunch of stack of tickets down to Kennett.
He does. He was a probation and parole officer for a long time. Then he worked for the prosecutor's office. Then he was a deputy. So Cleet was very familiar with the area down here. If you haven't got tickets, prime rib, baked potato. There will be outstanding desserts. There's also drinks. There's a full bar. If you want to go and have an adult beverage, you certainly can. One thing that we talk about as well, once the auction starts, it's my understanding 21 or over, correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Now we have some kids helping with the dinner. That's the work ethic side of it. They help bus tables. They'll pick up your plates when you get done, and then they leave, and then the auction will start.
That is correct.
And usually the auction starts about what time? Is it about 7?
I was going to say about 7 o'clock is when the loud starts.
And again, people say, well, the doors open at 5, and they're like, man, I don't know if I've ever been anywhere when the doors open. I'm telling you, folks, you need to be there at 5 o'clock when the doors open, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. There's going to be, and if you've been there more than one time, you can usually scan the room and see exactly everybody because they sit in the same spot.
That's true.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590. Kim, tell me a little bit about St. Teresa's. When you first went to St. Teresa's, what was your thoughts? Were you like, is this the place for me, or is this just a stepping stone? And again, we know that you're the principal now, but what were you, as a young educator, were you like, do I really want to be in this, or do I want to move on to something else?
Right. And I think, ultimately, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. Never thought I was going to be a principal. But it wasn't until me and my husband got married and that we were planning to have children that I knew I wanted my kids to have the same experience that I did growing up, and that was St. Teresa's School.
And, did you go there as well as a student? And now you've come back and you've taught, and you're now the principal.
I am now the principal, yep.
And one thing that a lot of people will ask is, how do our children get there? Is there a bus system? Do we have to bring them? We'll kind of explain that because a lot of people are used to, for instance, me, I was like, there's a bus. I just got on it. Next thing you know, I'm at a school. So kind of explain what's going on with that.
Well, Glenville is kind of in the middle of nowhere. So parents are usually working away from the town. We probably have about 20 students who either walk or ride their bikes to school on a daily basis. But we have parents dropping off at 7 o'clock in the morning. We have after-school care where parents can pick them up after school. And then we also have the transit bus. And this is interesting because, like Glenville, there was a problem, and our parents came together and they solved it. We had this group of parents form a company, basically, and now we have a bus. And they pick up in Campbell and they pick up in Malden, and they make the same drop off both days. Our bus driver is Mike Olinger, and he volunteers his time. So 2 hours a day, he volunteers to drive that bus.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd, and KDXAM 1590. And you know, it's kind of like Father Victor, or you would both say, when there's a problem, God makes a way.
That's
And I think that's what happened. You know, the people come together there in Glenville. They really support the school. It's an amazing facility. You know, I've had opportunity to tour it numerous times. It's one of the finest facilities in all of Missouri in regards to education, in my opinion. And a lot of people say, well, man, my kid's a great basketball player. My kid's a great athlete. You also have sporting activities, correct?
We do. We have a small basketball team for 5th and 6th grade. Our 4th graders do get to play, but we also co-op with Campbell School. So they are able to do cross country. They're able to do cheerleading and basketball, baseball and softball and volleyball, all at the junior high level. And we really do appreciate Campbell and Ben Foster for working with us so well.
And again, we're on KDXAM 1590. Welcome to the booth with Daren, Todd, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal at St. Teresa's, talking about Havana Nights. It's going to take place October 25th. Kim, should I expect that Father Victor will be dressed like Scarface this year? You know, it's Havana Nights, Father. You know, have you got your costume in place? No?
Like, Father's wardrobe is pretty consistent.
That's the one thing.
My collar on and... No. Anyway, today I'm kind of in a brighter shirt, but it will probably be black and, black shirt and black pants.
He'll put a sports jacket on.
Maybe.
Sport jacket.
You wear
if
black.
It's, yeah, if it's,
yeah.
Then
if
I can
it's
put
cold,
that on.
who
If
knows
it's
what the
cold,
temperature is
I don't know
gonna
what
be.
it will be.
And forgive me for not knowing this, Father.
Yeah.
One year I went, I think that the priest at that time was a musician.
Glenn, probably.
And so have we decided, are we going to learn to play the guitar or anything like that, Father?
No.
No? now, you know, and again,
Now, I can sing well, but I am not too good with playing instruments.
He did teach the kids a Nigerian dance.
absolutely. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDXAM 1590, talking to Father Victor and also Kim Lynn from St. Teresa's. Father, we could auction off this dance. There's a lot going on here, Father, and you're like, wait. Kim has got some great ideas, and we're gonna make this is gonna be the best auction we've ever had.
Yeah, but I don't know about the dance.
Well, and I know that is it my understanding also that there's an opportunity. Could I be principal for a day?
Well, that is going to be on the block this year. And then
Yeah,
also a cook for the day. That's probably going to be more of a prize than being principal because everyone loves Miss Holly. But
And again, if you've not been, the annual dinner auction, October 25th, the doors open at 5 o'clock. Contact St. Teresa's. If you've not got your tickets, you've got to get tickets, $50 per person. The prime rib is unbelievable. And in fact, one of my favorite parts is not only do they sell the prime ribs as part of the meal, they auction off some if there's any left. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough to eat your one, and I'm like you, Father, I couldn't eat it all. I had to take some of it. It's just too much. It's unbelievable. Cooked exactly the way you want it. Delicious. Kim, one thing I haven't asked you, if I wanted to donate some items to the auction, how can I go about doing that? Or can I?
Yes, absolutely. That is why what we run the auction on is purely donations. If the item is valued at less than $250, it can be found on our silent auction. If it's more, it'll be on the loud. We have a donation slip, and that is you'll receive tax credit for any donation that you make.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Loop with Daren, Todd on KDXAM 1590. And it says here's the 32nd annual dinner auction. It's going to be October 25th, 2025. The theme is Havana Nights. And, looking at this, in the letter, it said last year we raised, pardon me, I said we, but.
It's okay. Well, hey, it was a community effort.
Absolutely. Over $100,000.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And all that money goes back to the school. Is that correct?
All of the money.
And kind of what do you do with the money? Does it basically just your operating budget for the year?
That is correct. It keeps our lights on, our teachers paid, and, any kind of materials that our students need, it fills that.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Loop with Daren, Todd on KDXAM 1590, talking to Father Victor from St. Teresa's and St. Anne's there in Malden. Father, does it kind of keep you busy going back and forth between the two parishes like you do? how do you kind of schedule that, and how do you juggle that busy schedule?
So most of my time is spent at St. Teresa's. Then with St. Anne's, we only have one weekday mass and then another one weekend mass on Sunday. But mostly the busy time is at school, being there at the office, teaching sometimes, playing during recess with the kids, and scheduling an appointment with parishioners. Yeah. So most times I spend it at St. Teresa's.
And apologize for me asking this question because I'm not really familiar with the Catholic hierarchy. But is it my understanding that basically you are assigned to a certain parish and you serve at the will of the diocese?
Yes, bishop, yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been here at St. Teresa's and St. Anne's?
I have been for 4 years going into my 5th year. So I came to St. Teresa's, I think, 30th of June, 2021 or so. So it's been a little more than 4 years now.
And again, I'm asking you questions that you may or may not be able to say.
Sure.
Is it a situation in which they rotate you on a regular basis? So, I mean, you're not going to be at St. Teresa's and St. Anne's forever, which is I'm very upset about that if that's the case.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to say that too loud because,
right.
Yeah, they're going to be so upset with you.
Absolutely. So can we just write somebody and say, we want you to be here forever?
Yeah.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, but I don't think they're going to listen to me, are they?
Yeah, maybe not.
And we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Father Victor Anokute.
Anokute? Wow.
Who is the in charge of the St. Teresa's and the St. Anne's parish. Talking also to Kim Lynn. Kim is not only the principal, a former student, former teacher at St. Teresa's,
and parent.
And explain again, a lot of people say, well, it's a major decision thinking about our children and the world we live in, with social media and these phones and all this craziness that's going on. 14 kids in 1st and 2nd grade, the fact that, well, what if my kid has some kind of like learning disability or things of that nature? You also have the ability to handle all those issues, correct, at St. Teresa's?
To a certain extent. We do have speech services. We can implement specialized learning plans to the best of our ability. But really, we do want to teach, all children. And that's our goal. And like you said, like the world is changing. And I think one thing that we can do really well is try to keep our children safe and innocent longer. Our parents do a good job of being on the same page, of not wanting our kids exposed to, the ways of the world and a lot of the negativity that is out there.
Sure. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, the principal at St. Teresa's Catholic school there in beautiful Glenville, Missouri, in which the population is anywhere between 150 and 40, depending on if you take my saying, the father saying, or Kim saying, and we're going to find out for sure.
If you take a census, maybe.
Absolutely. If there was only something that would tell us, and you're like, we could find this out, but I think we've had more fun just kind of guessing all here for a bit. October 25th, Havana Nights. You indicated costumes are available. There'll be a winner of the costume party, dress up contest. Is that correct?
That's right. And usually there's a secret judge just watching the crowd and trying to figure out which costume they like the best, and then they just say, yeah, that's the winner. So
absolutely. And again, with Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590. And Kim, one thing that I always found amazing is one year, I think it was they were selling ice cubes. And I don't know if you remember this. It was ice cubes. And in the ice cubes, there were diamond earrings.
Right. We've changed that just a little bit for the risk of maybe those diamond earrings going missing. But we do offer a raffle, and you get a drink with your purchase of a raffle ticket. And you can either win a weekend getaway or a very nice piece of jewelry.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590. If you've not been to the dinner auction at St. Teresa's in Glenville, you have to go. October 25th, if you can get tickets. This is probably the hottest ticket in all of Southeast Missouri. $50 per person, prime rib, outstanding Joey Purian.
Yeah.
I'm good with the pronunciation. See, Father, I'm getting better. We'll be on the microphone emceeing. It's an amazing time. Travis Birdsong will be auctioneering if he can't be someone in his stead. And we'll have a live auction. Now, one thing that we haven't even talked about, and I'm sure you win this every year, is we talked about the first to eat, but technically the first to eat is who?
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that, but that is
table,
the
right?
special table.
That's right. Explain to the people what the special table is.
Well, that'll be one item on our auction where you can, if you want to set with your 5 closest friends, you can get to eat first on nice china that is hand delivered to your table. There will be an array of drinks available, and then also little goodie bags that are on everybody's table.
And as we're sitting there envious as they're looking at having their prime rib served while we're standing in line waiting for ours. But once we get, it's absolutely, so there's also that opportunity. Now, some of the things that I've enjoyed in the past, again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590. There was Cardinal tickets. I believe there's all kinds of items and things of that nature. Again, you have got to see it. It's unbelievable. The silent auction and the live auction is just amazing. Now, one thing that we ask, I think, is please wait until the auction is over before you check out. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And kind of explain that process. And the reason why is because, again, it's a small amount of volunteers doing a lot of work.
That is right. We depend on every single one of our parents has to volunteer for this function just so it can be successful. And at the end of the night, once the auction is over, there's another ticket that is sold during the auction. That is the first to check out. So if you buy that one, you get to jump the line and check out first. You're speaking my
Father. I apologize for wanting to jump the line. But anytime I can get to go to first, that sounds like a great idea for me. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren, Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn. The principal at St. Teresa's is also with Father Victor from St. Anne's and St. Teresa's Parish there in Glenville. Havana Nights, October 25th. Please call. And again, I'm going to give you that number one more time. We've got about 5 minutes left, but give us that number one more time if you want to ask for tickets, Kim.
Sure, 573-328-4197.
And if you want $50 per person, prime rib, potato, there'll be outstanding desserts, drinks. There's actually a live bar. You can go. The Knights of Columbus are actually nice enough to, I think they bartend, correct?
We have, yes. And then they also just give us the building for the night, too. So.
And you can't say enough about the Knights of Columbus, outstanding organization there in Glenville. But again, this is about St. Teresa School. And, last year we raised over $104,000. Do you have a goal this year, or are we saying we're just going to put it in God's hand and let happen what happened?
Well, our goal is 100,000.
Okay.
If we go over that, we'll be definitely happy. So. Sure.
And again, my next question is, a lot of people say, well, if I do donate, what's the benefit? Everybody, obviously we like to donate, but everybody seems to want to benefit. It's also tax deductible. Is that correct?
It's tax deductible. And then we also have the sponsorship too. So if you want to advertise your business, then you are welcome to do that. We'll send a tax letter, and any kind of donation, if you purchase over the value of that item, that is also, you'll get a tax receipt on that as well.
So would it be easier for us just to call the school, or should we get on the Facebook page? And, I always sound like a 50-year-old man when I say, do we get on that Facebook page? What would be the best or easiest way for us to get a hold of you, Kim?
If they want to make a donation, probably the easiest way is to call the school, but I will be more than happy. I'll put a donation slip on our Facebook page. So if you want to print it out and send it in, then we can make that happen that way too.
And again, it's October 25th. It's Havana Nights. And every year the theme changes. This year's Havana Nights. How do you decide what it's going to be because I know as soon as you're done October 25th, that next Monday, probably the next day, you're planning for next year's. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Because in fact, and again, I love this, and I know you are thinking that I know nothing about. I really do love it because I think it's because you will tell us what the theme is for next year after the. Is that right?
Yeah, sometimes we are able to, present that theme for the next year and tell everybody we'll see you on whatever date that last Saturday is going to be. But our chair this year, it's Jamie Deacon, and she has picked out Havana Nights, and we're going with it.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Kim Lynn, principal of St. Teresa's, talking about the annual dinner auction that's going to take place October 25th at 5 o'clock. And we're talking also to Father Victor. Father Victor was nice enough to come up today and also talk with Kim. And first of all, Kim, I appreciate you giving us some time because I know that you've got a crazy schedule.
It's been busy, and I'm sorry it took us such a long time.
No, it's my. I appreciate you giving me time, and Cleet assured me that I would be, if I would just be patient. One thing that I don't have, Father, and I'm trying to do better, is I'm not very patient sometimes.
I'll pray for you.
Thank you, thank you, Father. I do appreciate that. And again, if you haven't thought, and if you've thought about it this all. If you're thinking about your child's education and you think there may be a different way of doing it than the public schools, come see St. Teresa's. It's absolutely amazing. My cousins, the Sieberts, Jeremy Siebert, Paula Siebert, obviously, they all. So I'm very familiar with the school district. And you've just got to experience it. I mean, again, you just have to experience it. Come in and see, take a tour, see where we're at. Go from there. Talk to some parents who've been there in the past. Talk to the teachers. Talk to Father Victor. It's Catholic teachings, but all faiths are welcome. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
And again, tell us more important about this Missouri Scholars Program.
Yeah, so it opened today for next school year. So if you are interested in, you're more than welcome to get with me. I can help you fill out the application, but it is income based, but the margins are 300% above poverty line. So it really encompasses a large amount of people. But you fill out the application, and once you're approved, then they will award you, and then you can have basically your tuition is paid for. So, and
you'll have an outstanding education preschool through 8th grade. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. You indicate that the activities involving sports, you kind of co-op with Campbell. Your child will not be shortchanged in any of that. And again, if you told me that my children were going to have 14 first and second graders and a loving teacher and an outstanding school, I don't know how you could pass on that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So. And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Daren Todd on KDX AM 1590, winding down with Father Victor and Kim Lynn from St. Teresa's School. The dinner auction is October 25th. Havana Nights, doors open at 5 o'clock at the Knights of Columbus Hall. If you're not familiar with how to get to Glenville, you just drive up 53, and then you get on J Highway, and then you're in Glenville. And you take one left, you'll see the Glenville sign. You'll go, and then you'll go past Cleet Weidenbender's house, and it'll be on the left. That'll be the Knights of Columbus. Then you can circle around the town, then you can see the school.
That's right.
And if you're coming from Malden, get on Jay. Come on down. We'd love to see you. Call the school if you're wanting tickets. The number one more time.
573-328-4197.
We also have the Facebook page.
That's right.
And you can get all of that. Again, first of all, I'd like to thank you both for coming down today, taking time out of your busy schedules. Is there anything that you would like to leave us with before we sign off today? Kim?
I'm just going to say you won't regret if you buy a ticket. It's a fun night.
Absolutely. And again, if you don't want to come, which is a totally horrible mistake, donate. Donate. Right. You can also, they take American cash. You can donate. You can write a check. They'll love to have that. It all goes for the education of the children who truly, truly benefit from it. Get a hold of St. Teresa's or on the Facebook page. So don't be afraid just to send money, a gift, something of that nature. But buy a ticket and come. You'll truly enjoy it. Father Victor, I'm going to give you the last word.
Okay. Pretty much what you said at the end. Sure, you will not regret coming, and know that every support you give will be used for the good of this wonderful kids that God has given us to serve. And we know that they are the future. country, of our community, of our family. So whatever sacrifice we can do to give them a wonderful education, worth every dime, every money that we can put in.
And again, on behalf of Kim Lynn, the principal of St. Teresa's, and Father Victor Anokute,
Yes, Anokute.
the pastor for St. Teresa's of St. Anne's, we'd like to thank you for being a part of Welcome to the Booth today. We hope that you have an excellent afternoon and a better tomorrow.